Okay, so I just had a short drive to Stockholm. Well, I've been talking a lot before about drive modes, or I made several videos comparing the different driving modes, and among one of the videos I said that's why I stopped using the A mode in the Stelvio Quadrifoglio and so on. Now I've had the car for a little bit longer, and I have to revise some of the things that I've said before. So let's go to advanced efficiency. Okay, so I know that in the previous video I said that's why I'm not using A mode anymore. Now I am in the city and I am using the A mode. So what I found out, I've been driving a little bit more since I did all those comparison videos between the different drive modes, and so I've driven, we've had the car for maybe 6 or 7 more months since I made the last video about that, and you figure out the car more and more. And actually, when I'm in the city, regardless of season, I usually use the A mode at the advanced efficiency, because the car is so much smoother. For example, if you go around corners, like let's say in 15 or 20 kilometers an hour, it would stay in a higher gear. So that means you won't get this how shall I put it? The car won't be jerking that much, back and forth when it's gearing up and down. I mean, the gearbox in itself is very smooth, so it's not really a problem in that respect. But still, you get, you know what I mean. When the car gears down, you have to give more gas, to increase the speed, etc. So I think in the city, not only is it much smoother to drive in the advanced efficiency, but it's also more efficient. This could be a good time to maybe go into natural mode. I think over time the one drive mode that I've been using the most is the natural mode, because it is quite all round, and it's you have enough power when you want it, and it's also smooth. The one driving mode I'm actually using the least is the dynamic mode. I didn't think so. I have one video where I'm comparing the dynamic against the natural mode, and in that particular video I find out that the dynamic is more efficient. The problem in dynamic is that the car is so much more sensitive to your input, and that's something you like or not. For me, it's kind of a fool's play mode, You kind of lie to yourself. If only thing that happens, I mean, it's not the only thing that happens, but if one of the things that happen when you go to dynamic is that the gas pedal is much more sensitive. That is not, the gas pedal being more sensitive is not a particularly sporty thing for me, because it means that you actually have less throttle control. You have less control over the power input. And then you think, okay, what about race mode? Well, the thing is that the race mode has more like a throttle control like you have in the natural mode. It's much more, you have much more play in the race mode. So when we're out like this on a run, on an open road, I usually go to race mode, so I put it in manual first. You can do it any way you want, but if you don't put it in manual first, it will gear down when you go to race mode. So I will hold it and go to race mode. If I would have it in dynamic and then go to race mode with the same throttle input, actually the car would slow down when you put it in race mode, because the power input would actually be less with the same position of the gas pedal. So for me, actually, when we're on, even if it's snowy, because if it's a little bit slippery, it's okay, because this one is four-wheel drive. So I don't mind driving around like this when I'm out on the run in the manual shifting. In race mode, you have the nice chassis control of the harder suspension. I put it in the mid suspension setting, and you also have the sound. I like it quite a lot. Sometimes in the long run it can be a little bit tiresome with the sound, because especially I think if you have passengers in the rear seat, I think that there's kind of a rumbling noise that might become tiring in the long run. But what I particularly like about the race mode is you have the sound, and if you pass if you have an uphill or something, and then you pass a BMW or an Audi or something like that, it's quite nice to just gear down and tell them, you know, you bought the wrong car, because many of the BMWs or Audis that are more or less the same price as this one are a lot less special, and I just want to make a point of it. I know it's a little bit childish, but hey, I'm going back to race mode, and you can immediately feel in the car that the car will, you know, it's not becoming sluggish, but you can feel, compared to the dynamic in race mode, actually the throttle, you need to push the throttle more down to get the same response, which I like, because it gives you a lot more control. Why waste half of the pedal treble to nothing? You know, why not use the entire spectrum? One thing that I can show if you're interested, remember this is a 2.9, this is a pre-facelifted model, so I cannot tell you how the facelifted model is, but the TFT screen you have, if you click here on the side, you have 4 selections. If you have selected 2 different trips, you can also go into the infotainment system and select only 1 trip data. I don't know why you would want only 1 trip data anyway. So in race mode, you have the one screen with the G meter, which is kind of ridiculous. And then you have the speedometer. Sometimes maybe in race mode I will use it, but for me, I'm not really much into a digital speedometer. You know, I have a speedometer here on the side, it's quite exact. I don't know why I would need a digital speedometer actually, but never mind, that's how it is. So I have the speedometer, I have the trip A, which shows me 1 trip that I reset at some point. Then I have the trip B, and then we have the G-force meter. If we go to dynamic, we still have the G meter. Then we have the speedometer, but the speedometer here includes the radio station information and the consumption. We have the trip A and trip B. Then if we go to natural, we have some kind of a meter of the last 20 minutes of driving, the consumption. We have a speedometer with radio information. We have trip A and trip B. With the advanced efficiency, you have same thing, trip A, trip B. You have one screen with the advanced efficiency mode, which I also have as a dual display in the infotainment system. You have the radio and speedometer, and you have the 2 trips. So I have the studded winter tires on right now, so I don't want to give too much gas on the bare asphalt like this, because the studs will wear down immediately. Hope you enjoy this short update on the driving modes on the Stelvio Quadrifoglio. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If I come up with any more topics, I'll post a new video. Thank you.